Hello and welcome back everyone. In today's video, I am taking a look back at Target Renegade, a kind of Marmite beat 'em up. You either loved it or hated it. Target Renegade was a sequel to the successful Renegade, which was released into arcades in 1986 by Technos Japan. When Ocean snapped up the license to port Renegade to the home micros, they also acquired the option to produce and release their own home computer only sequels to the game, and Target Renegade was the first of these sequels. I personally loved this game, but there was a fair bit I hated about it as well. It was a game I largely ignored when it first came out, but it was included in the in-crowd compilation, which is how it came into my possession in Christmas 1989. Along with some other great games from that compilation. The first thing you will notice is that it plays very differently from the original Renegade. The controls, while less awkward compared to Renegade, are made simpler, but still awkward at times. Which is a bit of a miracle really. Less awkward, but yet still awkward. Only Ocean Software could pull off a feat like that. But let's not beat about the bush here. This is not a sequel. It's a game with the Renegade name on it, which was used to sell loads of copies. So if you take the original game away from this one and treat this as a standalone game, Target Renegade holds up well, especially compared to other belt scroll beat 'em ups on a Commodore 64. The visuals are mixed. The main sprite is quite large and cartoonish in appearance, and incredibly well animated. The enemy sprites are less well animated, but still look great if I do say so myself. The backgrounds change with each level, but these are mostly bland, lacking detail or any real colour. But the heads-up display has this interesting feature where you see the hero's eyes looking left and right as you walk left and right. And they also pop out all bloodshot when hit in the wedding vegetables, which looks brilliant even if it doesn't feel good. But when any contact is made, the eyes react to the pain. It's so totally unnecessary, but it filled up a gap in the heads-up display, I suppose. The sound is brilliant in this game. Well, the music is brilliant, as there really is no in-level sound to speak of. The first level tune is definitely one of the more iconic Commodore 64 tunes from my youth. It's catchy, very hummable, and gives the SID chip a good workout. The other levels are not as good, but the first level is all about drawing players in, and it does that very well. The playability is great. There are just a couple of moves to execute, but to be honest, it's too fiddly to pull them off successfully with the joystick. I tended to just stick with the standard punch, which did make the game a little repetitive. And the other repetitive thing was the enemies. You only ever got 2 on screen at any one time, and in each level, it was the same 2 enemies. So once you learned the best approach to best them, The rest of the level was a cakewalk really. The game was also pretty easy. Once you had played each level once or twice, you could rattle through the game in no time. It would take about 15 minutes to play from start to finish, which actually wasn't bad for a Commodore 64 game. Some older games could be done in 5 minutes, so at least you got some value for money with this effort. With the graphics being a mixed bag, the sound being a mixed bag, and the level layout being a little flat, does this make Target Renegade a bad game? No. In fact, I absolutely loved this game when I got it. I didn't play it for too long, as I had gotten a few other games that Christmas, but I did play this a lot for a couple of days, and when having mates round they all agreed it was better than Renegade on a Commodore 64. We would challenge each other to see who can beat the game the fastest or get the highest score, or even beat it with one life. Those were the simple days of video gaming, and we were easily amused back then too. The thing with Target Renegade is that as a full price game back in 1988 when it got released, it may have been a bit disappointing at around £9, but as part of a compilation that really did bring the price down to about £1. It was a great purchase, and it's like everything in life, it's all about the timing. But what I will say is that I would recommend you give it a go on a Commodore 64. I don't know what it was like for other formats, and so I cannot comment on them, but for the Commodore 64 it was brilliant, it really was. $1989 had been a pretty good year for the Commodore 64 overall, but it was definitely one of its last great years, as it was really beginning to show all the signs of advancing old age. But then, nothing lasts forever, and it's the memories made along the way that we should all hold dear. Anyway, that was my look back at Target Renegade on a Commodore 64. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, a massive thanks to all who have liked, commented and subscribed to my channel. It really does mean a lot for the growth of the channel. And that's all from me folks. Thanks for watching.